I'm Amy the Bunny Lady, and this is my partner Elusive, Ellie for short. High five. Good job. And bunny care can end up getting a little bit expensive, so I'm going to share some of my best money saving tips with you so that you can have your rabbit and keep them happy and healthy on a budget. If you're new to my channel, welcome. We give rabbit care tips so that you can keep your companion bunny happy and healthy in your home. If that's the kind of thing that you're interested in, then go ahead and hit the subscription button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my weekly videos. So rabbits eat a lot of leafy greens on a daily basis, and that can end up making your grocery bill kind of slowly tick up over time as you make sure that you get your rabbit's favorites. So instead what you can do, whether you have a garden outside or all you have available are some flower pots in your window, is to grow your own plants. I grow a couple plants here. I have basil and I've been growing some wheatgrass for my rabbit, but you can grow a whole lot of different types of plants. Herbs tend to be easy ones because you can use them both for your own cooking to make it yummy with fresh herbs at home, and you can also use them for your rabbit. Now rabbits do eat a lot, so you're probably still going to have to supplement your homegrown plants with your grocery or farmer's market plants too, unless you have a large garden outside, of course, in which case you can actually grow quite a bit more and maybe even enough to keep your rabbit happy. But for most of us, we'll still have to purchase some plants, but growing your own can at least lessen the amount that you have to pay a little bit on a weekly basis. One big tip that I do all the time is repurposing cardboard boxes. You can use these for so many things. It's a budget option for covering your baseboards. It's a budget option for giving your rabbit a little house to hide in. You can also create a digging box or flatten cardboard boxes on areas of your rug so your rabbit can dig into the cardboard and instead of your carpet. You can even make these real complicated cardboard castles with a bunch of cardboard boxes put up against each other. There's really any number of things you can do with these cardboard boxes that will make really fun toys for your rabbit and will make it easier to keep your house rabbit proof without having to buy any expensive equipment. My third tip for you is actually to not buy a rabbit cage. Rabbit cages can actually be really expensive, wooden rabbit hutches or even those really small rabbit cages that they're not even big enough for rabbits and they're still kind of really expensive. Instead, what I recommend is getting a pen for your rabbit, an exercise pen. These tend to be both cheaper for your rabbit and they give your rabbit more space. So it is definitely a better option and a cheaper option to get a pen for your rabbit. You can even go a step further and not get a pen at all and instead choose to free roam your rabbit. This is when you rabbit proof your house to make sure your rabbit can't get in any trouble, and you allow them to roam your house or at least a room in your house all day long without a cage or a pen or any kind of enclosure at all. That's even cheaper than getting an exercise pen because now you don't even need any kind of enclosure for your rabbit. I will say as a caveat, if you are a new rabbit owner, it's probably best to get an enclosure to start with because rabbits can be troublemakers and you don't know what kind of trouble they're going to get into until you actually have them in your home. So it's best to have some place where you can keep them when you can't supervise them until you get used to your rabbit's habits and destructive behaviors so that you can keep them out of trouble. Another thing you can do to help keep your rabbit happy on a budget is to make your own toys. I do have a video going over some of my rabbit's favorite toys that I make for her using really cheap stuff that you can find around your house like toilet paper rolls and some string. And it's actually really easy to make fun toys for your rabbit where they can tug them, chew on them, roll them around, whatever, and have a lot of fun. And it's great for their teeth and it's great for their mental enrichment and it's super cheap. Now you do still want to give them a variety of other toys as well, but this means that you know, rabbits can go through toys very quickly, so you don't have to purchase new toys every time, not quite as frequently, and instead you can choose to make a lot of your own instead. Another thing you can do to cut down on the leafy green grocery bill is to use kind of the leftovers of your other fruits and vegetables. So if you're making something that has carrots in it, you can cut off the carrot tops and give the carrot tops to your rabbit. Those are actually very healthy for your rabbits and can be leafy greens. I've even known someone who would go to her farmer's market where they would cut off the carrot tops for their customers. So then they just have a bunch of carrot tops left over, and they gave her their carrot tops for free. It's like it was a whole bunch of bags of carrot tops. So you can check out your farmer's market, see if they'll be willing to set up something with you so that they give you the leftover carrot tops so they don't go to waste. And, you know, you get a lot of leafy greens for free. Even things like strawberries. The tops of strawberries are perfectly fine for rabbits, and things like that are vegetable leftovers. If you'll notice the leaves on broccoli, when you take those off to cook the florets, the leaves are okay for rabbits. Celery leaves are also okay for rabbits. Things like that. What used to be trash, or you gotta compost it, is now, you know, food for your rabbit. The next tip I have for you is to buy in bulk. And this can actually mean going beyond your local pet store and instead going to a local farmer or an online store where you can get really large quantities of hay or pellets at a time. So in stores, I don't think I've ever seen more than like a 90-ounce bag, whereas online you can get 10 pounds, 20 pounds of hay at a time. Or even pellets. I've gotten a 25-pound bag of pellets that I can keep fresh in an airtight container over time. But in the store, mostly what you'll find is 5 pounds. Maybe you'll find something that's 10 pounds. Whereas getting that bigger bag that I could get online will last a lot longer and in the long run be quite a bit cheaper. So make sure you look. Even places that seem like they're more expensive online because their 5-pound box of hay is more expensive than a 5-pound bag that you can get in a pet store, they'll actually be cheaper online, because if you can get like a 20-pound box of hay or even a 10-pound box of hay, it's actually per pound a lot cheaper because you're getting more at once. Another thing you can do is actually make your own treats. So instead of getting those baked hay treats at the pet store that your rabbit really loves, you can actually make those on your own. You can actually make these by grinding up your rabbit's pellets into a dust and then mixing it with, say, mashed banana or mashed raspberry or something like that. Mixing it all up and then baking it on a low heat to just dry them out. And then you have your own homemade treats for your rabbit. I actually have some recipes on my website for some DIY treats that you can make for your rabbit that you can keep them fresh in your refrigerator for a month, and they'll be fine for your rabbit. So you can make a bunch of these on your own, have fun baking for your rabbit, and you have some pretty cheap treats with just your rabbit's pellets and some fruit that you can get at the grocery store. Another piece of advice that I have for you that may be counterintuitive is to make sure you bring your rabbit in for annual checkups. Now, in the short run, this is a little bit more expensive because, yeah, you're paying for an extra checkup every year that maybe you weren't previously going annually. However, in the long run, you are keeping track of your rabbit's health, so you can know ahead of time if, hey, maybe your rabbit is overweight. And your vet can let you know when they're just starting to be overweight so you can start to watch their diet. If you wait too long to the point your rabbit is actually having health problems, then it can cost you a lot more than the small changes that you would have to make in the short run. And it helps you make sure that your rabbit is healthy in the meantime. It's kind of a peace of mind and a way to, take better care of your rabbit. Another thing that you can do to save a little bit of money is to purchase any treats that you can get at the supermarket instead of a pet store. So if you don't want to make your own treats, which, that's okay, not all of us are bakers, you can still get treats for rabbits a lot cheaper at a grocery store. And honestly, a lot of times they can be healthier, because the best treats for rabbits are actually fresh or dried fruits and vegetables, which you can get those at the grocery store. You can get raisins pretty cheap at the grocery store. You can get some fresh bananas. Those are actually very cheap where I live, at least. So things like that. If you go to a pet store, you'll get this little bag of treats that aren't even healthy for rabbits, and it'll be like $5. Whereas you can get like a big thing of raisins and it's $2. So when you're at the grocery store, just look for fresh or dried fruits and vegetables. Just make sure that there is no added sugar in them. Especially dried fruit, sometimes we'll have those added sweetness to it to make people like it more, but we want to stay away from that for rabbits. The last tip that I have, which is very close to my heart, is to adopt a rabbit. As many of my viewers know, I work with rescue rabbits at my local animal shelter, and I work to teach them how to trust people and to socialize them, and I also teach other volunteers how to make sure that, you know, they are properly socializing with rabbits and learning how to take care of rabbits too. In general, adoption fees are actually quite a bit cheaper than any fees that you're going to get for purchasing a baby rabbit from a breeder or a pet store. And on top of that, many shelters are not going to adopt out a rabbit until they have already been spayed or neutered. So that is going to be one very big medical bill that you're not going to have to pay anymore. Okay, in most cases, you're not going to be able to get a baby bunny from an adoption center. In fact, many places won't even adopt them out till they're at least 4 to 6 months old, because that's how old they're going to have to be to get the neutering surgery. So you're not going to be able to get a 2-month-old bunny if you get them from an adoption center, but it's still, you know, you're rescuing a rabbit that's been abandoned in one way or another. Many times you can even still get very young rabbits, like 6 months or 4 months, but you just don't have those extra bills to pay. And they still have their baby bunny energy zooming around the room. And you know what? Even if you go and you adopt an older rabbit, you can still have a number of years of really awesome, fun times with a sweet bunny companion. It is both cheaper and it's a really awesome thing for you to go and adopt a rabbit that's been abandoned. So if you don't have a rabbit yet in your home, or if you're thinking of getting a second bunny, then I really recommend checking out an adoption center near you. If you are interested in more information about rabbits and how to care for them and how to know what their little behavioral quirks are and everything like that, then go ahead and click that subscription button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my weekly videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.